Hey everyone, and welcome to my very first prep file. Okay, so first of all, prep file, what is it? What am I talking about? So this is basically gonna be my new series documenting my preparation to compete in bodybuilding for the very first time. Whether or not I'm actually going to compete this year, I'm still not sure of, but I'll get into that in a little bit. But anyway, I wanted to start. Hopefully these are going to be every week from now on. Also to keep myself a little bit accountable because I have no coach or trainer, which again, I'll get into in a little bit. So yeah, I hope you enjoy and I hope you are either entertained or learn something from this whole journey that I'm doing now. So, first thing I'm going to talk about is the show that I am prepping for, and just to talk you through a little bit about the bodybuilding scene here in Peru. So there are lots of local shows. I live in a town called Arequipa, so there is a Mr. and Miss Arequipa every year. And basically since the first year I was here and I found out about it, I've always wanted to compete because it's like, how can I go so long living in Arequipa and just not compete in Mr. and Miss Arequipa? Like, come on. So anyway, that is the show that I want to compete in. It is on either the 12th or the 13th of November. I'm not sure which. So that's, where are we now? Yeah, that's basically in 2 months. So there's not really that much time left. So basically there's the shows every, sort of not every city, but every like department, like county has its own shows. And then there's also Mr. and Miss Arequipa every year as well. So anyway, so I've got my sights set on my city's local show, Mr. and Miss Arequipa, and then really excitingly also this year MPC did their very first show, and they did their first show in March, which was here in Arequipa, and then they've just done their second show, which was I think about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and that was in Lima, which is the capital. So that's really exciting. So MPC have also come to Peru, which is ultimately my goal, to compete in MPC. If I go through this whole process and experience and I like competing, that's where I want to go. So that is in March. So basically the plan is to compete in November, and that can be like a kind of warm-up show, experience, see how I get on, and then whether or not I actually do manage to compete, it doesn't matter, it's all practice, and then I'm going to go in and take all of that into the NPC show, which is hopefully again in March next year, although they haven't confirmed yet. I'm just holding out for that. So there you go. So that's basically the bodybuilding scene in Peru. Now, as far as women's categories go, we have bikini, we have body fitness, and we have wellness. I'm sure most people have heard of Bikini and Wellness. I'm going to put up some images here of like bikini and wellness so you can see the two categories. Bikini is generally what women start out at when they get into competing, and that's what I thought I would do first, like a few years ago. But now I've actually been training for so long that I've sort of grown my upper body a little bit kind of past the bikini proportions. So I have like a bigger upper body. And I was told I could compete in bikini, but I would have to lose some of the size in my upper body, and I don't want to do that. So I'm bypassing that. Wellness is obviously, it's quite new. It's quite a new category to bodybuilding, and it was born here in South America. And it's big legs, big glutes, and then also big shoulders, but still that kind of very like feminine form. Kind of like a bigger version of bikini, I guess. And then there's body fitness here, which we do have some federations that do like fit body, and I think this is more of like a kind of athletic trained as well. I don't know if it's in two bros that have that category. but it's sort of like a figure, it's a general overall more muscular look with like a bigger upper body and that like nice proper X, so like a kind of miniature version of physique. So it's basically figure, and that is the one that I want to do. So, okay, so here's the thing. So my gym here, I am officially on the team, which was like fantastic news to me. That was been my goal for like the whole year. But how things sort of go in Peru is a little bit different to maybe in other countries, and part of being on the team is essentially you get your inscription page, you get your TAM paid on the day, and then we're doing like monthly check-ins where you get like advice, you know, like, oh, more hamstrings, more shoulders, but it's very much like your preparation is up to you, and they're just gonna like come in every now and then. We're gonna meet up, we're gonna have a little chat, and yeah, they're gonna tell you if you need to improve anything. So I had my first team meeting, it was about 8 weeks ago now, and honestly it didn't really go very well. I was told that I need a lot bigger legs to compete, which I kind of knew, but I didn't think I was like so far off being able to compete. I got some positive feedback from some people, but the coach that they brought in that day wasn't really very positive. But I have been working super hard, and I've put on, I think now I've put on 2 centimeters around my thighs, and they're looking a lot thicker, so I'm very happy about that. And the second check-in that we had, which was 5 weeks after the first one, and that is now about 3 weeks ago. So our last check-in was 3 weeks ago, so I think we'll be due for another one like next week. But yeah, everyone sort of noticed that I'd improved a lot, and I got lots of like, it was a lot more positive and a lot better feedback. So basically what I've been doing in that time, now really, I should have been started cutting, but I didn't bother, and I just stayed in an excess of calories, at least like 200 extra a day. But I did increase my carbs. So before I was on a higher fat diet, not a low carb diet, but a higher fat diet. So I had my 25 grams of protein kind of just stays constant, and then my carbs before were on 40%, and now I've eat them up to 45%. And I've had a few 50% days as well, around like my period and stuff like that, when you can process carbs a bit better and you're just generally hungrier and more tired. And so talking about when I'm eating as well, I just want to hop in here and tell you a little bit about my diet. So in the mornings, I'll do my fasted cardio, and I'll drink my aminos, and I'll have like my vitamins. And then I will have for breakfast oats with generally like a scoop of protein powder. I've recently switched to pea protein powder, which I'm so happy about, because honestly, up until really recently, I've only been able to find soya protein powder, which is fine, but it's a lot of soya, and I've always preferred pea protein powder. Rice is also good, I like that. And what's even more exciting is that I'm actually now part of a supplement store team, so I am selling it. But it's amazing, and there is my vegan, as in by my protein, available here in Peru, and it's my favorite protein powder. It's coffee and walnut flavor, and it's what I always order when I go back home, and I'm just so happy that it's here in Peru. But I massively digressed. So my breakfast will be oats with a scoop of protein powder. I'll always have like seeds, so it'll be like a spoonful of like linseed, which is really good for vegan diets because of the omegas, or chia, sometimes hemp seeds. They're a little harder to find here, but hemp seeds are amazing. And then I usually have like blueberries with that, maybe a bit of powdered peanut butter powder in there as well, which is also a new thing that I've finally been able to buy here in Peru. So things are working in my favour, you know. I did get advised in that very first team meeting to cut all soya out of my diet. Now obviously as a vegan who lives, I've done a lot of research into soya and the estrogens and all of that kind of stuff, and I don't really believe that it does interfere with building muscle, but I did cut down and also started eating more seitan, mainly because seitan just has more protein in it than tofu anyway. So those are some other changes that I've made. So increase the carbs and then also replaced a lot of the soya with seitan and then with the pea protein powder instead of the soya. So anyway, that's my breakfast. And I'll have like milks, either like oat milk, I really love oat milk at the moment, almond milk, and then sometimes I get one which is a blend of coconut and almond milk, and it does have some soya protein powder in there. So like I still have like a bit of soya every now and then, and I'm still buying like about a kilo of tofu once a week or so, just to kind of mix things up, because it's not good to eat the same thing every single day. My body is used to variety. So anyway, so then my second meal of the day, I used to have maybe like a protein bar and some nuts and a banana and stuff like that, but I've made it like an actual meal. So I'm having like a portion of rice, seitan, and then probably like a little bit of avocado, like about 30 grams, some veg. So I made that second meal like an actual proper meal with more complete proteins in it. And then lunch will be rice, seitan or tofu, veg, usually a little bit of avocado in there as well. And that's like my pre-workout meal. And then about an hour or so after that, I'll usually have a banana and either a cup of coffee. And if I'm training legs, I'm having pre-workout, so I'm skipping that coffee. But if I'm training upper body, I'll have a coffee before I leave work and a banana, and then I'll be going to the gym. I have started taking my creatine before I get to the gym, whereas I used to take it during my workout. And I've also recently bought some glutamine, which I bought before and I never really felt like it did much, but just because I was a bit like, if I really need to step up my game, I thought, well, I got given the budget to buy supplements, so let's just do it, let's just try it. So that's all of that, and then I do my workout. My workouts are actually quite long at the moment, they're an hour, sometimes they go over the hour mark, and then 3 days a week I'm doing about 15 to 20 minutes cardio after the workout. So that's on my 2 upper body days, and then also on my second quad day, which is a lighter training day, and then my cardio after that. And I like to use the Stairmaster because spinning, like I have my spinning bike and I do that a lot in the mornings, and then the elliptical and the treadmill. I've never used a treadmill in my life. I've never used a treadmill in my life. I do a lot of walking during the day, so I feel like more walking doesn't really impact me that much, but the Stairmaster like really does. And when I used to use that a lot earlier in the year, I felt like my legs were a lot more like solid as well. So that's that. I'll have my protein shake. I've already told you about the protein, but I'll have my protein shake after I work out. And then I get home and I have dinner, which again is like rice or quinoa with my protein source, which is usually seitan, but sometimes it is maybe soy mince or tofu. Veggies, try and always have like lots of veggies, so I like spinach, broccoli, asparagus, especially asparagus is great. And yeah, and like a little bit of avocado usually in there as well. And then after that, like I'll have one final meal, which will be more like snacky, and it'll usually be like about 20-ish grams of nuts. So usually pecans or walnuts, like a spoon, like about anything between 10 and 20 grams of peanut butter. And it's just to have that little something extra because I love food. And also, yeah, just to even out my macros. But I try to have fats as that last meal at the end of the day. And so that is my that's my current kind of meal plan. Oh, also I've eaten a lot more of like chickpeas as well. Chickpeas are a really great like protein. So I've also been putting in about 50 grams of chickpeas every day, and yeah. But yeah, so that's what I've been doing, and I've just been training really hard, and I've completely changed my training style as well. So before I was doing like power building, and I just kind of carried on with that all through the year, because I was under the impression that I would have a bit more guidance in my trainings as being part of the team, but it is what it is. So anyway, so I've taken it upon myself to change my training routine, and I've done a few things, like I've stopped doing squats and I've replaced them with hack squats, because my upper body, as they've told me, it's ready for body fitness, but I really need to focus more on my legs. So I've done that I've done that with the squats because, you know, it also uses a lot of like your upper body, and just with the machines you can really isolate your legs, so all of your energy and power is going pure into my legs, especially my quads. And then there was like a couple of weeks as well where in the mornings I was like doing my fasted cardio and doing squats, like a high volume of just bodyweight squats, and it was very tiring, but it did all pay off, which was fantastic. Yeah, so I didn't actually do a check-in today. I usually do a check-in with myself every Sunday, but I forgot. But I'm going to throw some pictures up here of what I looked like last week, and some photos of me during this week as well. I'm going to put up my stats as well, my height. I'm weighing 70 kilos, so I've put on a good 2 kilos since that first check-in, like eight weeks ago, I think it was now. So that's quite a substantial amount to put on. And I've also this week, with the help of my friend, he measured my body fat percentage, which I kind of guessed was maybe like, I thought maybe I was on like 16% or something like that, but I'm actually on 12.99, and that counts because it's less than 13%, okay. Now I'm actually thinking about it. If I'm on 13%, getting down to like say 8%, that's still quite a lot of work. But yeah, anyway, let's do it, because I've decided, even if I'm not going to be able to compete, if I'm not like show ready, competition ready, I don't really want to get on stage. But the whole thing, everything is an experience, and you can learn something from everything. So I'm going to take advantage of all the help that the gym are offering me, being on the team, and yeah, just go for it. So that's where I'm standing with my prep. I have, okay, so about 2 weeks ago, I had like my six pack was showing and popping, and I looked super lean. And I think that's basically because although I was in an excess of calories every day, I was doing cardio every day as well. So a mixture of like spinning in the morning, like fasted, skipping. I would take like 1 or 2 mornings off, but if I was going to work that day, then I would count the walk to work as my fasted cardio, and then have breakfast there, because those are the mornings when I tend to leave at like 5:30 in the morning to get to work, so it kind of works out a bit better anyway with time. So yeah, so cardio every morning, looking really ripped, even though I was in like an excess. It was great, but then I just sort of realised, well, hang on, I've still got a lot of time until the show, so I kind of want to be able to like coast in a little bit easier. So I kind of upped my carbs and my calories, cut down my cardio a little bit, and now honestly I feel super bloated. I feel super bloated, but I am remembering I'm 13% body fat, so it's okay. And then this last week now I have upped my cardio again, and I'm starting to tidy up my calories a little bit as well, or rein them in a little bit, because I eat relatively clean. Well, no, I eat really clean actually, like, so it's, you know, it's fine, it's all good, it's all good. So yeah, from here I'm just gonna up my cardio again. I'm gonna stick to my macros as they are with 45% carbs, and I know that like in that month before the show I can up my fat and lower my carbs like 40%, because that's what I did earlier in the year just to experiment, and I ended up super lean, so I know that that works really well for me. So that's where we stand. And then the other issue is that I still need to learn how to pose, and I still need to get my shoes and my bikini, because the shoes in Peru don't go up to my size. They only go up to about a UK 6, and I'm like a UK 7 or 8. And in heels, usually I wear an 8, which I don't wear them often, to be honest, but as I seem to remember, I used to buy them in a size 8. So I'm looking into getting some shoes, probably from England, because everywhere I found in America doesn't actually ship them to Peru. So we are going to get some shoes sent either direct from a company in England, or I'm going to try, or I just am going to order some from an English store to my family home in England, and then arrange for like FedEx or UPS to courier them to Peru. So that's the shoes. The bikinis, like bodybuilding's really big here, so there is like one main bikini like brand here. So I just need to, the only other thing that's holding me back from doing that is finding out my cup size, because I don't actually know. So that's on my to-do list, so I'm getting that sorted, but luckily I received some sponsorship money to cover all the costs for the bikini and the shoes. It was just kind of like a one-off thing, but yeah, we'll see. So yeah, if anyone can recommend where to get my shoes from, please let me know. And if anyone recommends any posing coaches, please also let me know, because people here, although well-meaning, and they say, yeah, we'll help, like it doesn't always happen. So I've just realised, like, if I want to do this, I have to be very proactive about it and make it happen myself. So I feel like I'm talking really quick because there's like a lot to sort of fit in, because I've already started my prep. But yeah, there we have it. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm going. I've had a lot of like back and forth of like, oh, I'm not gonna be able to compete. I was really sad about it, and then I just sort of compartmentalized that. And then for the other side, I was like, well, let's just do this like crazy routine, and let's just like go all in with the cardio and the meal prep. And I bought new tuppers and motivate myself, and you know, and it all paid off. And then recently I've sort of just caught my reflection a bit, and I'm like, I just don't know. So I'm just taking everything one thing at a time and being proactive, and I'm just sticking to it. And I've now just decided, as per the suggestion of a very good friend of mine, thanks Steph, that I've set a date to decide whether or not I'm going to compete, and that date is the 12th of October, because that's exactly a month out from the show. So up until then, I'm just carrying on like I'm going to compete, and even if I get the shoes and the bikini and I don't compete this year, it's absolutely fine, because they'll be ready for when I do compete, because I am going to compete. Like, I want to do it, I want the experience. So yeah, this whole thing so far has been like a massive learning curve, and yeah, I mean, it's exciting and it's scary, and I think the next major thing that I really need to get sorted is posing, so I can be super confident when I step on stage. But yeah, there we go. I think I'm just going to carry on with the high cal diet, but also doing a lot of cardio, because to be fair, I'd rather do more cardio and still be able to eat quite a lot, then cut my calories right down. So just so you know, I'm eating around 2,800 calories a day, and I will burn anything from 2,500 to almost 3,000. Some days I do burn 3,000 calories, and on those days I try to like eat in an excess, but it doesn't always happen because I'm quite active. Sometimes I'm very active in my job, sometimes I'm very sedentary, but with the cardio and the weight training and walking to work, walking to the gym, all of that kind of stuff, like it all adds up. So yeah, there you have it. Yeah, let's see you again in 1 week and see where I'm at. I will start sharing as well more of my like posing practice and all of that kind of stuff. But until then, follow me on Instagram because everything is on there. And if you want a training plan or a diet plan, please get in touch with me. I have training plans already ready to go and download on my website, payhip.com/backslifts, or email me backslifts@gmail.com and I'll make you a personalized plan. Training, nutrition, we are going for it. But anyway, I'll be back next week with a little update. We'll see if we have our next team check-in. Everything is sort of kind of like always left to the last minute here in Peru, which is good and bad for me because I love the organisation and knowing where I am, but it also means I can't get too caught up in every single detail of everything. So anyway, I will stop digressing and I will end there. Hope you enjoyed this first prep file update, and yeah, be sure to subscribe and I will be back next week.